It was a Friday evening when the fabric of my life began to unravel. My wife of 8 years, Stephanie, and I had been invited to her best friend Alice's birthday celebration. The two of them had been inseparable since their college days, and throughout our marriage, Alice's parties had become a regular event for us. Nothing about this one seemed out of the ordinary, at least not at first. Stephanie looked breathtaking that night, dressed in a cobalt blue gown that hugged her figure gracefully. Her hair was styled with care, each strand perfectly in place. She turned to me with a playful glint in her eyes and asked, "Well, how do I look?" I smiled, unable to lie. "You look stunning as always." She laughed softly, teasing, "Careful. Alice might accuse you of stealing her spotlight. Remember, it's her night." By the time we arrived at Alice's home around 8, the party was already alive with music, chatter, and laughter spilling from every corner. The house buzzed with energy, familiar faces mixing with strangers. Alice, radiant and already holding a drink, greeted us with open arms. "Ben, Stephanie, I'm so glad you came," she exclaimed, pulling Stephanie into a warm embrace. The evening unfolded like so many others. We mingled, shared drinks, and caught up with old friends. Everything seemed ordinary, until my eyes landed on him. A tall man stood across the room, a whiskey glass in hand, his posture confident and deliberate. His dark eyes seemed fixed on Stephanie, and there was something in the smirk tugging at his lips that unsettled me. I nudged Stephanie, gesturing subtly. "Who's that?" I asked. She followed my gaze and replied lightly, "Oh, that's Ryan. He's a friend of Alice's. I met him last year at her housewarming." Ryan lifted his glass in acknowledgement. Stephanie gave him a polite smile before turning back to me. "Don't be ridiculous, Ben. He's harmless." But I couldn't shake the unease. His stare lingered on her, and though she wasn't engaging much with him, the feeling gnawed at me. I told myself I was overthinking, but the alcohol only sharpened the suspicion. As the night wore on, I lost sight of Stephanie. A knot twisted in my stomach. I searched the rooms, finally asking Alice if she'd seen her. "She went to the kitchen a little while ago," Alice said. I headed there, and the sight that met me froze me in place. Stephanie stood at the counter with Ryan, their heads close, laughing quietly. She held her drink in one hand, while the other toyed nervously with the necklace around her neck, a habit I knew all too well. "Stephanie," I said sharply, my voice cutting through the moment. She looked up, startled, her smile faltering. "Hey, Ben," she replied, though the tension in her eyes betrayed her. Ryan smirked, lifting his hands as if to ward off conflict. "Relax, man. We were just talking." "Let's talk, Stephanie," I said firmly, ignoring him. She hesitated, then set her drink aside and followed me back toward the living room. "Why were you with him like that?" I asked, struggling to keep my voice steady. She crossed her arms defensively. "We were just talking. Why are you making it such a big deal?" "The way he leans into you, the way he looks at you, it's not right. It's disrespectful to me, to us," I snapped. Her expression softened, her tone gentler. "I'm sorry if it upset you, Ben, but there's nothing going on. Please, can we just enjoy the night?" Against my instincts, I let it drop. She agreed not to spend more time with him, and I tried to move on, though the unease clung to me like a shadow. Later, Stephanie excused herself for another drink. Minutes passed. Then more. She didn't return. I searched again, kitchen, dining area, patio, even the den where people played cards, but she was nowhere. A cold dread crept over me as I walked down the hallway toward the bedrooms. The music and laughter grew faint behind me, replaced by silence. I pressed my ear against doors, nothing. Then at the last one, I heard it, her laugh. That familiar, light sound, followed by a murmur, and then a soft moan. My blood ran cold. My hand shook as I gripped the doorknob, heart pounding in my chest. When I pushed it open, the world I knew ended. Stephanie was entangled with Ryan on the bed, her dress discarded, his shirt hanging open. For a few seconds, they didn't even realize I was there. When she finally looked up, her eyes widened with horror. "Ben," she gasped. I barely recognized my own voice as it cracked out. "What the hell is this?" Ryan leaned back lazily, his arrogance unshaken. "It's not what it looks like, man. Calm down." I laughed bitterly. Not what it looks like. That's all you've got. Stephanie scrambled for the sheets, tears already streaming. Ben, please let me explain. But I was backing away, the betrayal slicing into me like a blade. Explain? There's nothing left to explain. My voice trembled, my chest burning with rage and heartbreak. She chased after me down the hallway, begging me to listen. Guests began to notice. Alice hurried over, alarm written across her face. What's going on? She asked. Ask your friend, I said bitterly. She's got plenty to tell you. Stephanie's sobs filled the air, Alice trying desperately to mediate, but I had no words left. I pulled on my coat and muttered, I'm done talking. Enjoy your party. I stormed out, my vision blurred with fury and grief. In the car, my hands shook as I gripped the wheel. Her name lit up my phone again and again, but I couldn't answer. Every call only deepened the wound. I drove aimlessly through the night, the image of them together replaying endlessly, until I found myself at Damon's house. It was nearly 2 a.m. when he opened the door, bleary-eyed but instantly concerned. Ben? What happened? I choked out the truth, my voice breaking. I caught her, Damon. With him. In a bedroom. His face hardened with shock. No. Ben, no. I don't know what to do, I said, collapsing onto his couch. I can't go home. I can't even look at her. You're not staying in some hotel tonight, Damon said firmly. Stay here. We'll figure this out in the morning. Grateful, I nodded, though Stephanie's calls kept buzzing, twisting the knife deeper each time. By dawn, I had already made my decision. I'm getting a divorce, I said quietly to Damon, the words heavy but resolute. He nodded. Then that's what you'll do. I'll get you a good lawyer. When I returned home the next morning to collect my things, Stephanie was waiting on the couch, her eyes red and swollen. She rushed to me. Ben, please, we can fix this. It was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to happen. I stopped and looked at her coldly. A mistake? That's how you see it. You smiled at him while perfectly sober. You don't destroy someone you love like this. Her tears fell harder. I'll do anything. Just give me another chance. I shook my head. It's too late, Stephanie. I packed what I needed and walked out without looking back. The divorce went through in a matter of months. She tried reaching out, leaving messages, pleading for reconciliation, but I ignored them all. Damon stood by me throughout, helping me take each step forward. The pain lingered, but over time I learned to live with it. Starting over wasn't easy, but it was the only way. And as I rebuilt my life piece by piece, I knew I had done the right thing. Walking away wasn't just about leaving her betrayal behind. It was about reclaiming my own life, my dignity, and the worth I had forgotten I carried.